Look, I just got done really recording. I didn't have enough time to really edit anything, and I scrapped the whole thing. I'm not afraid to get rid of anything. All right. With that being said, it's something that I feel like needs to be discussed because not enough men are discussing this thing. This is directed to the fellas. Fellas, if you know a woman is known to sell her vagina, sell the box. Please do not go on her messages or DMs calling her queen. It's okay. She may be a queen one day, but at the point in time of her selling, it's where she makes her body transactional. I've never known a queen to do that. I'm just saying. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I think you should know. If you can transform her into a queen and you Prince Charming or whatever the case may have you, then bravo. But actively like telling you, hey, I need $40 box available. You ain't no queen. Stop. I know people gonna be like, well, words have power. Let her be positive. No, we're not gonna lie. We not gonna lie. A queen has to run an entire, you know what I'm saying? And that same thing can be said for men. Same thing can be said. Women, if you know that this man is out here in the streets slanging dingaling from place to place, why you calling him a king? You know he's selling drugs, staying on his mama couch. Like he ain't no king. It's okay, king. I know you getting no. I never known a king sleeping on his mama couch. I never known a king having to sit here and beg for a place to stay. We gotta start making a dude over here like, yo, man, look, man. Hey man, I'm in my car tonight. You're a king. Where? Stop. I hate that. I've always hated that. I've always hated people call it's okay, king. No, he's not a king. Where are his people? Where are his people? Where's his kingdom? Don't nobody have no answers. I hate that. People just were honest with people like, hey man, back in the day, hey, you a peasant. If you want to change that, then work towards it. Now it's like, oh, let's be positive and positive words of affirmation and reinforcement. No. What about truth? When we gonna make truth valuable again? When we gonna make it so that, hey, look, you ain't no king, dog. You renting a room. It's okay. Not saying that you can't be one day, but right now we speaking truth to power. Know where you're at so you can dig out and grit whatever it is you need to do to get to king status. When you get to king status, by all due, that title is there waiting for you. Yeah, king, I see you made it, king. But stop wasting those words because when people hear that, they like, "Psh, I don't have to work any harder. I'm already king. It's the same concept that I have with the best. Like, yo, man, I'm already the best. I ain't got to work harder. Bro, I tell people all the time, like, when I started comedy, I sucked. I've gotten better, but I still suck. I ain't on Dave Chappelle status. I ain't on like Bernie Mac status. I'm nowhere. I'm in small country bumpkin, Virginia. So I don't speak. People be like, man, you can't say you suck. Yes, I can. It's my words. It's y'all that want to make me believe the lie that y'all are telling me. Jamal, you're way better. You're good. Don't worry about. No, I'm not. I'm still here with you. You think you're better than all the people that you want to be better than? No. You know why you think you don't need to put in the same amount of work and efforts that I do? Because people lie to you and tell you that, hey man, you're great, you're funny, you're this, you're that. When you're not, you're not good enough. And you don't accept it for yourself. Instead, you want to accept the positive language that people are pouring into you. No, create the negative language if nobody else is doing it for you. That's the best work that I can do. I tell my kids all the time, okay, that was okay. That was cool. Good job. But you still got to do better. This is my kids. My kids will compete, running back and forth, sprinting to the door. My kids will compete. Hey, look, I'm going to work on doing this backflip. You know why? Because they know that they didn't perfect anything yet. I literally watched my son work on half contorts so he can learn how to do it on the bed. My bed took the damage, cool, but he knew that he couldn't do it. He was like, Dad, did I do it? I'm not giving you any falsehoods of any completion when it isn't complete. You keep working at it. When you get there, you'll know how great you are. And that's life. That's what a lot of people are lacking these days, man. They feel like the validation of a like. Oh man, I got look at him. I got all these likes, boy. I'm famous. I'm good. No, then you stop doing the work. Oh man, I went viral. I watched over 1 million views. Okay, but what? What are you doing? What are you doing with that? You can sit here and keep. Have you done multiple videos of 1 million views? No, you've done it one time, or you'll say a bunch of times. Man, I've finally gotten to the point where I hit 1,000 views on every video. So you know what that means? Time to post more videos. Time to get double down on the work. Dude, I gotta sit here and post a video about everything every week because it has to happen. I gotta make sure I use what I got to get what I want. Stripper song, stripper song. I'm sorry. But yeah, I gotta use it. So yeah, let's start being honest. How about that? Let's start being honest. I think that that's needed. I think we need to be honest with ourselves. I think we need to be honest with our community. I think we need friends. Like, I'm sorry if the where I'm at right now in life, my friends, if they're doing dumb stuff, I no longer want to be around them. So if people are looking at me like, "Yo, why you and Maul ain't cool no more?" Honestly, it's probably something that I saw that I didn't want to attach to me in my life. Like, if you out here, because this is something that I really had to work hard on doing. If you're out here and you're just laying with a bunch of women, sleeping with a bunch of women, like I said, I've done these things too, so I know. But I've healed from these things, and I don't want to be like that's just like the scab is healed to the point where it just left a scar, and you know what I'm saying, you so not satisfied with the scar that you start picking and creating a new scar. That's what it's like having somebody like that come back into your life. So if you want some dumb shit, bro, hey, look, I keep you at afar. Hey, we can say what's up, I can piece it up, but I'm not hanging out with you. I'm not going out with you because that's a part of my life that I really had to fight to get rid of. I really had to fight to stop being a hoe. People be like, yo, that's crazy. Like, just stop being a hoe. See, people who say that don't understand addiction. It was an addiction. And if you don't understand addiction, you know that sometimes if you've been so heavy lenient on this one addiction, you sometimes need something to replace that addiction or to replace your focus on that addiction. And for a while, I thought it was comedy. For a long time, I thought it was comedy. But the thing that I'm addicted to wasn't the sex, it was the feeling of validation because I've never gotten that validation or that feeling of validation from my dad. And here recently, I've healed the relationship with my dad. So guess what had to go? The whole version of me. Me calling a woman and wanting to hear her tell me how great of a man I am. I now get that from my dad, who I've been lacking this love from for 30 plus years. But he calls me every day and he's like, "Hey, what you doing?" And what used to annoy me and feel like he was trying to, and now it's like, man, shoot, here we go. I'm about to talk to him. I got to talk to my dad now for an hour every day about nothing. But you know what? In that hour, it recharges everything that I ever felt like I lost. I sit here and I talk to my dad. I'm like, I'm recording a podcast with him now. He's a pastor, and he used to preach these sermons that had so much validity with me that I would remember him preaching from the church, and I would go home and recite the preaching. That was my dad. That was the version of my dad that I was most proud of. Like my dad used to preach, and I walk into the schools, and it wasn't popular to. I grew up in Virginia Beach, where Atlantis, that Pharrell talks about, was infested with drugs. This is during the crack epidemic and all that stuff. And a lot of kids didn't have. It was when you started to see a lot of fathers start disappearing, And a lot of broken families and broken homes really started to take effect because of the epidemic. And people would always be like, yo, who's your hero? And I would hear like Michael Jordan and, all these famous people, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson. I would hear all the Michaels. And I would walk in and be like, my daddy is a preacher and he worked for God. And, that was it. And here recently is the first time that I felt that again. Like, yo, me and my dad talked. It's been years since we've even had a conversation. He came to my first comedy show, and I've forgotten every show that he didn't show up for. I've forgotten every event, wrestling, whatever it is. I've forgotten all of that he didn't show up for. And my daddy showed up for this comedy show, and I clowned him. But he got to hear me, and he got to see the effect of what I do and how it's affected so many people. And he was like, man, listen, I think that this. I said, Dad, listen. I used the Kendrick line. I was like, I just wanted you to see that you don't need none of that, none of those substances, anything, man, because your son is all of that. I was like, alcohol, what I'm saying, drug use, you don't need it. That same feeling that you get from all those things, get it from your son now. Because he was on a high. It was like all these people coming over here. He looking and watching. Hey, I got your back. He said somebody was on the tablet. He let me know. Hey, he on a tablet over here. He cool. All right now. All right. I'm like, yo, what do you think you're gonna do? Like, what do you almost 70 years old. You can't do nothing to nobody in here. You sit there and relax. You call security. What do you think you're gonna do, Dad? But it was just him wanting to him dadding himself. Him being a dad. And it was like, damn, this is your way of protecting me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got everything under control. I'm like, Dad, what can you do? Like, I got people. It's people all around here that will protect you. Like, what you think you gonna do, old man? But I just see it as his opportunity to prove to me, like, hey, look, son, I got you. What I'm saying, I'm dad. I'm still a protector, even though I didn't feel like he could necessarily protect. I let him feel, and that's another thing is you got to let them feel like they protect. And like I said earlier, man, I replaced my addiction with the love and the attention that I always seeked from him. So being that I get that now, that validity of having that, I have no longer been seeking anything from any other woman because the one person that I wanted to show and experience that love with is right here with me now. And it takes a lot for a man to admit these things, but it's here with me. To have my dad here, like by my side, and I know that I'm transitioning to things that are bigger than what I was able to see before. It's a big deal for me. Like, I never had that feeling, and now I do every day for at least an hour and 30 minutes. He caught me yesterday for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm like, it's Saturday, and normally Saturdays I don't even answer my phone, but if he calls, I have to. And he talking to me about how he gonna wear these shoes and his pants. He already got the outfit. I'm like, Dad, the show is 2 weeks away. Yeah, I got my outfit out already. You supposed to be bringing me another one of these shirts, right? Yeah, Dad, I'm gonna bring you another one. Okay, and I need some pants. I need to make sure that they can't bleed on my white shoes. So, story time. When I was younger, these white shoes that my dad are talking about. When I was younger in 1996, 97, we went to the mall. Lynn Haven Mall was our local mall. We went over here, and Michael Jordan had just released the Jordan 11s, and they were becoming like an icon. Like everybody like had to have them. And this was when the shoes used to be displayed like right at the cusp outside of the store. And we walked past, and my dad sees these Jordans, and I can only imagine in his mind that it had a glow. So the shoes are glowing. He walks over to them, and it's the Jordan 11s. They were black and white. First time that, what I'm saying, anything like this had been seen with the patent leather around it. And my dad picks it up, and he's holding the shoe with both his hands, much like you see me here. And he looks over at my mom, and my mom, very stern face. My mom has like a stern, I probably get my RBF from her. And she said, "We here for the kids." And I remember looking at my dad and being happy because it was like, "Yo, yes, we get some shoes," and him being like, "Dang, I can't get nothing that I want." And I just, as a dad, I watch that now, and I'm just like, this man honestly works his butt off to provide for us. And when he was a kid, all he wanted to do was have a horse. But as an adult, he just wanted a pair of shoes, a pair of nice shoes, a pair of Jordans. Because my dad used to play basketball, and you can tell me my daddy was better than Jordan. When I used to watch him in college, we moved up to Tennessee, and I used to watch him in college, and like during the game, and my dad dunked. My dad had an S curl, and I remember like we didn't go to the games often because it was heavy on the racism. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was calling us, and my mom would try to protect us from it, so we would just never go to the game. But the college that he went to, the game sometimes was televised, so sometimes we would just watch it at the house. But on this day, my mom decided to take us there, and I remember seeing my dad. They played old. They won't know a whole lot of cross up drunk, but he got past his defender and he went and he dunked. S curl juice dripping everywhere. And my dad dunked. And they were losing. I ain't even know because I couldn't count. I was like 2, maybe 3 years old, but it's a memory that I have that stuck with me. They were losing bad. But my daddy dunked. And all you see is me and my brother. Yeah, yeah, my daddy is the best. I remember that. But my brother wasn't as animated as me, but I'm sure he heard me because I feel like he looked in that general direction at me and saw me and was like, "Boy, sit down." You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that was it. It was like, "Boy, sit down. We losing." Like he might have, but in my eyes, my daddy just dunked with his jerry curl juice dripping everywhere, and he dunked on somebody. Like it's different when you just dunk. You got an open layup and you just dunk. Ugh. But you dunk on somebody, and my dad in them little ass shorts. You know what I'm saying? Like, Daisy Dukes. I said all this thigh meat. But yeah, we were home. We only had one car, and my mom couldn't drive, so I think we took the bus up there. My mom used to have seizures. We took the bus up there, and yeah. All right. Sorry. Side note, I be going all the way in a tangent. But yeah, he had Converse. I remember the shoes. He had the Converse on. We actually have a picture of him just dunking during that. Yeah, whatever. Back to the shoes. My dad was looking at these shoes, right? And he looks over at my mom. My mom says no. And recently, I was finally able to get him those shoes. I bought him the Jordan 11s. We all know how expensive they are. The black and white ones that he picked up, I bought those for him. And this was it last Sunday that I took him to him? It may have been. I believe it was last Sunday. I took them to him because, for one, I bought these shoes because I thought I always wanted them. I only wanted them because my dad, like we couldn't afford Jordans growing up. Plain and simple. You see, my mom had to make the sacrifice, but that was a one shoe that my dad always wanted, and I brought it to him last Sunday, and I never seen a man. I've never seen my dad so happy. Out of all my life, I've never seen my dad so happy. And I let him know, I'm like, "Dad, these ain't these ain't cheap." But he was working the event with me. He came. It was at Dave and Buster's. He came to Dave and Buster's, and my dad had on some cowboy boots. And I was like, "Dad, we got to up your wardrobe." And I called and I asked him what size he wore. He said 11 and a half. I went to the store. I got him these 11 and a half Jordans that he always wanted. And I gave them to him. And that was the first time I seen my dad like heart happy. And I was like, "Dad, you remember you wanted these shoes?" And he was like, "Yeah, at the mall that day. I remember." And he smiled, and I have his grandkids there, and he was happy. And it was like my grandkids was like, "Hey, Daddy." I mean, my grandkids. My kids were like, "Hey, daddy, does I didn't know Grandpa could smile." Yo, that was the wildest. Like, yo, he smiled, and I was scared. I didn't know. Like, they didn't. They've never seen my dad smile. That was crazy to me. I was like, I didn't know he could smile. Like, what do you mean? He's human. Of course he could smile. I've never seen him smile, Dad. I was like, all right, well, you got to see him smile. And that was another thing that was a big deal to me is I never realized that my kids never saw him smile. But it felt good. It felt good to do all these things for them. It was good. That was a good feeling. It was a good feeling. It was dope. It was dope. Yeah. So yeah, that was a healing energy. And just like he's had problems with different things. I now have positioned myself to be the healing factor of making sure that he doesn't have to go to that. He can get that same feeling that he gets from any substance that he wants to use or abuse. He can get that same feeling from me, my presence, my engagement, the conversations, all of that. Get a healing energy is right here, Dad. People don't understand how important healing energy is. So yeah, that's what we got to do, man. If you do know anybody suffering from any form of addiction, and all you're doing is talking about that person, you're not helping. This is something that was sent to me because I did that. If you know someone who has an addiction and all you do is talk about that person with the addiction, and you're not doing any actions to help replace that addiction with any of your actions, and be patient and stop making them remember about those addictions. Stop bringing it up. You don't need to talk about it. You don't bring them down. Move you move you help, you replace it. You replace whatever addiction. You replace it with something positive. My dad's now a fan of comedy, not just any comedy, but my comedy. You know, be so dope that you replace anybody's addiction. Be so in your arts that you can make somebody stop their addiction. That's become my new goal now. It's like, dude, I gotta be so funny that you don't even think about things that you were addicted to. You don't want to do them because you'd rather spend your time laughing with me. That way you can fulfill the destiny that you have for yourself. Laughter is a drug. And honestly, I'm addicted to it. And I'm addicted to making people addicted to it. Even my dad. I mean, we talk on the phone for an hour and a half. I'm really proud of that because out of that hour and a half, I think an hour was spent laughing. And the other half, he spent 30 minutes praying and going to what he want to talk about on his podcast today. This is this is how we this is how we build. This is my dad. And this is how we build. So yeah, yeah. This is what it is. So yeah, that's been my journey, and that's been the most important thing that has happened to me this far. Like, yeah, I had a couple of sold out shows, but it don't really matter. I'm healing someone from addiction, and I'm healing from my own addiction. I had to heal from my own in order to see what items I needed to heal others. I use laughter as a form to heal from addiction. That's what I do. I use laughter as a form of healing. I do. I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. Yeah, a healer. Anyways, that's been my time. Um, whatever you do, do it with love and do it the best you can. Do it with love. I think I'm gonna go and be emotional and watch this TV show that I've been watching. I'll catch y'all in the next time, man. Y'all be safe.